What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Avarice podcast. This episode, as with all other episodes, is being brought to you by coffee, weed, and the relentless pursuit of something better. So, for the uninitiated, I'm going to start by making a cup of coffee here. I'll sit down in front of the television. I will take a couple hits on the... Apparently, I'll do some scat singing, and then after that, I'll take a couple of hits off the bong. I'll cue you up when I'm counting down to start playing the movie, and then I will do commentary over it. I am going to be changing kind of the branding. I'm going to start calling these movie companion podcasts instead of movie commentaries, because a movie commentary is something that already exists within the realm of the film industry. They produce their own movie commentaries, often by people who were involved in the production, the filming, or the actors themselves on that film. So it's a little bit misleading, I feel. And I think that I have a lot of people clicking on the thumbnail because they're expecting to see the full film because of the length, the timestamp, and just kind of how it looks. So if I change it to movie companion podcast, I feel like people will have a better idea of what they're getting themselves into up front, and I'll kind of differentiate myself from the other type of movie commentary, which is done, like I said, by people involved with the film, first-hand knowledge. And it keeps it from getting wonky. Like if I put up Halloween by Rob Zombie movie commentary, people might have the impression that Rob Zombie himself is doing the commentary on the movie, and that's obviously not the case. It's me. So I just don't want there to be any of those possible issues. I just fucked up here. I thought that I had pushed the button to start my coffee, and I didn't. Let's see if this works. This might be a shit show. I just had to put the K-cup in for a second try. Never had to do that before, so there's going to be 2 holes in the bottom of it. In theory. Maybe I lined it up perfect. Anyhow, I haven't even addressed the movie that we're going to be watching today. It's going to be the coming-of-age story, the classic raunchy comedy from the late 90s, 1999 to be exact. A major portion of my childhood, the classic teen exploitation film, American Pie. I don't know if I'd go so far as exploitation, but it definitely was constructed with certain beats and nerves in mind that they wanted to strike, and they hit them all, and they did a fabulous job. And they kind of started a trend with this movie where you got a lot of movies trying to be like this down the road, including the sequels to American Pie. They got a little more generic and a little campier as we go down the line, but you have that with almost every franchise. Honestly, take out all the bullshit ones, the American Pie band camp and all this fucking... the ones that just have Eugene Levy in them, and the one where it's Stifler's younger cousin, and all the bullshit ones that don't actually fit. Just take the 3. American Pie 1, American Pie 2, and American Wedding. And those 3 are all pretty solid. It doesn't degrade that much. There's some problems with American Pie 3 in comparison to the other 2. Stifler's character doesn't seem the same. He's kind of forcing it. It's fake. It doesn't play as well. But if you... I just watched it the other day. American Pie 3 is not... or American Wedding, I guess it's called, is not that bad. You can still laugh at it. It's got some funny parts. It's just expected, I guess, is the novelty had worn off. We were familiar with all these characters. We know that Jim's going to do something stupid and embarrassing. We know Stifler's an asshole jock. We know that Kevin is the sensitive bitch one. We know all that. So what they do manage to do, though, is they they tell a coming of age tale for 3 different important aspects of life: high school, college, getting married. So a lot of us, I'm a little bit too young, but a lot of people got to kind of grow up with the franchise and go through these various stages of their life at the same time that this franchise was. I'm pretty sure that I was like in 6th or 7th grade when the original American Pie came out. So I'm a little behind them, but it's still all very familiar. So I am now seated, and I'm going to hit this bowl and start the show. Feel free to join in. My eyes have seen the... I don't know. I forgot the words to that song right as I started singing it. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Is that it? The windows to the soul, the eyes never lie. They're bloodshot red. There's ganja in my system. I'm high. That's a 50 Cent line. Which I probably shouldn't have tried to do while I was holding a hit in. Because I think that just increased the coughing about tenfold. Shit happens. You know how it goes. I'll give you a second to gather yourself. I need to track down my PS4 controller. So this is American Pie 1 on Netflix, just to be clear. And part of the reason I decided to do this is because I was hemming and hawing about it. I do have a lot of respect for the movies. They were a big part of my childhood growing up. I go back and watch them and kind of reminisce, and they're still funny. But the main deciding factor was that Netflix is kicking them off the platform. I don't mean, that sounds bad. Whatever contract or deal they have, the American Pie movies are going to be off of Netflix on April 1st, and today is March 27th. So if I was going to do it, I needed to do it now. I am now going to start the movie. So I am pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. R rating: strong sexuality, crude sexual dialogue, language, drinking. I did not see the last one. Every dude growing up could relate to this scene. You kids this generation have no idea what trying to find porn was like back when internet was in its opening stages. And channels that you didn't get on cable, the channel was still there. It just showed up like this, all scrambled. You could hear the sound. Occasionally it would be and the picture would be scrambled. And it would usually be a pay-per-view channel. And if you paid for it, then all of a sudden it would come in clear. So he's trying to jerk off to scrambled ass porn channels, and he's doing it into a tube sock. This seems to be more like something that would happen to a 13-year-old than somebody his age, but it works out. It plays the same. Great casting as the father being Eugene Levy. Man, I'm tripping over my tongue today. Illegal channels? I don't know that everybody goes through their parents discovering their porn, but I know that a lot of people go through their parents discovering their porn. So mine, I had the bright idea. I had a drawer under my bed, and I took my magazines and I put them underneath the drawer under the bed. So you had to pull the drawer all the way out and then like fish underneath there to get them, or take the drawer off the track and pull it all the way out, and then they would just be right there. So one day, I had a soccer game, and I brought the wrong jersey. There's home and away. I brought my home jersey, and we were the away team. So somebody had to run back to the house and get me my jersey, and it just so happened to be in that drawer under my bed. And so I don't remember. I think it was my dad went home, got the jersey, came back. I played the soccer game. We go to eat afterwards. Everything's everything. Then we go home, and I walk in my bedroom, and the drawer is pulled all the way off the track, and the porn is gone. And I was like, "Oh fuck, what's gonna happen now?" And my anxiety level was at 100 for the next week at least. And nobody ever brought it up. It was the worst fucking punishment. Was waiting for somebody to talk to me about it, and nobody ever did. They just took it, and I knew that they found it, and that was good enough for them. Tara Reid and this gal. Tara Reid is Kevin's girlfriend. Kevin is Rookie of the Year. How I Met Your Mother girl. Band geek. They don't go real depth. A lot of it is cliche. You know, the band geeks, the jock asshole, the kids who can't get laid. But that all really happens. That's how life really is. It's not a deep investigation into the teenage mind. It's pretty shallow and based on primitive instincts, but at this age, that's damn near all you got. It's just driving you through the day. You'll come up with the sneakiest, most conniving little fucking idea just so you can hang out with somebody at their house for a couple hours when you're not supposed to be there. It's just the elaborate plans for just a little bit of just give me my fix. I got it. Can I feel a tit? Can I feel can you unbutton your pants? Can I just suck it. Just put it in your mouth. Just a minute. Just a tip. Just see how it feels. All these guys look way too old to be in high school, but that's par for the course. I think that we've gotten better at that over time, but back then, everybody in a high school movie was in their late 20s.
I'll see you guys tonight. I'll look free in the no fucking section.
This is, of course, from a guy's point of view. I don't know what the female experience is like in high school because I'm a guy, and this doesn't really explore that much. It's pretty much dudes trying to get laid, and high school guys can relate. That is...
This is a foolproof plan. I have a serious question to ask.
When you're a teenage guy and you haven't gotten laid yet, so much of your thought process throughout the day is guided towards that. And it's like the 40-year-old virgin. You put it up on a pedestal and you start psyching yourself out, and like you even come up with ridiculous shit. You start thinking you're going to get laid in situations where it's definitely not possible. Like, we're going to be going I went on a ski snowboard trip with my girlfriend and her church when I was a sophomore. So it was just some church chaperones and then a whole bunch of kids our age. And I had convinced myself in my mind that somehow I was going to get laid at this church snowboarding retreat. I had it all built up in my mind that I was going to figure this out. And of course you get there and you're always in a large group supervised. They separate the genders when it's bedtime. Like, there was no chance of that. And that trip actually ended up being what broke us up. But that's neither here nor there. It's just that semen is, ooh, Shannon Elizabeth. It fogs your brain. I don't know that women can relate. Like, dudes just have this thing. They have to get out. I need to put this jizz somewhere. Someone take this jizz from me. You want my jizz, right? You want my jizz? You want my jizz? Somebody take the jizz. Somebody take the jizz. Anybody want the jizz now? I got the jizz right here. Somebody take the jizz. Somebody take the jizz now. Somebody down 500 the jizz. Jizz now. Jizz sold to the gentleman in the ugly shirt. Actually, it's going to be sold to Stifler. Tara Reid baby birds the jizz them into the beer cup. This redheaded guy, he was in a lot of stuff when he was younger. And I remember watching those movies. I think he was in Major Payne. And so when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, he grew up and he looks like an awkward teenager, like a bunch of people I know.
I'm a sophisticated sex robot sent back through time to change the future. The one like you.
I can't even talk to people like that. I don't know how to relate. Like, you know that you're not functioning within a reality that any of us can relate to, right?
Guys, there's Nadia.
Oh my God, Shannon Elizabeth. In this era and for several years to follow, Shannon Elizabeth was my numero uno. God damn. That's just everything I'm interested in right there. I actually have to look and see if she has a booty. But that is a perfect face. She's got nice tits. Pretty sure they're fake, but I can live with that. I'm not really a tit man anyway, and they look nice in a dress. See? Here it is. He's building up this big moment. Chris D'Elia has a hilarious joke in one of his stand-up specials about this. How everybody thinks that they're the star in this movie and it's all this culminating moment, but they don't realize that it's somebody else's movie in the other room and they're just an extra. See? He thinks that everybody, it's like, he has it built up in his mind like she's been waiting for him to come over and talk to her, and she's doing her own thing. She doesn't give a fuck about... People have that with stars and people they admire too. They think because they run into a celebrity and that celebrity is so important to them that all of a sudden that celebrity is required to give them time socially. Like, no, man, I really need to talk to you. It's like, no, I got other stuff going on. I'm living my life. I'm happy that you admire, that you're a fan, but if I just veered off and talked to everybody like you throughout my life, I'd never get anything done. I have to live my life as well. Deuces. I was speaking like I was talking about myself, but I'm clearly not. Oh, I'm just thinking about his beautiful line that he's about to deliver that I just stepped on by using the word beautiful. And a reaction. Oh, I gotta give him kudos for having the balls to even say that. I would choke on those words. Maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe that's like sociopath confidence. He doesn't realize how that's gonna be taken, but suck me beautiful? No. I wouldn't say suck me beautiful to my wife. She'd laugh at me too. Suck me beautiful. She'd be like, are you okay? Are you on drugs? Are you drunk? Why are you phrasing it that way? Do you think that maybe we could cuddle afterwards? You're my soulmate, and we need to take the next step in our relationship. And maybe afterwards I could wear your panties, and I could put on an apron, and you could tell me what to do. I don't know what he's bitching about. He's getting regular blowjobs in high school, and he's getting to cum in her mouth. She spits it out afterwards, but what, are you offended? Would you swallow cum? You wouldn't swallow your own cum. You're asking her to swallow somebody else's cum? Come on now. No pun intended. But he's getting regular blowjobs. He gets to cum in her mouth. And he's not even having to reciprocate, at least not yet. He didn't finger bang her. He didn't go down on her. They didn't even really make out for that long. He didn't play with her nipples. He didn't kiss her neck. He just gets to lay back and get a blowjob, spit in her mouth, and then she spits in the cup, and you're ready to roll. I think he should be counting his blessings for a high schooler. This is good. Oh, he didn't get to come in her mouth. He came straight into the cup. Still, I would take it. That's way better than being single and jerking off every day. Stifler is just your typical asshole. He doesn't even know this girl's name. He's just trying to fuck.
And you got a keg, too. Wow.
It's his house. He's Mr. Cool Guy. He's the popular one in high school. He's the athlete. He's good looking. And he's used to just sweeping girls. Ugh, God damn. Even though I know there's not actually jizz in that cup, it looks like somebody hawked the biggest loogie in the world in there. Looks like the alien from Evolution just dropped a load in there. Ugh. See what I mean? This scene is funny and works because swallowing cum is gross. So if you want to swallow it, go for it. But I'm not gonna look down on you if you don't want to, because I don't want to. I did know a girl once who wanted to. She never got the chance with me, but she did later on, and she told me about it. She's like, it wasn't that bad. I was like, why are you telling me this? I can't remember if she said it wasn't that bad or wasn't as bad as I expected. Either way, that's not what I would expect to hear. It was shocking to me. Oh. What kind of texture is that? Is it like a Jell-O shot that's not ready yet?
What's wrong? What is it?
Blah. I do my own sound effects, guys.
Kevin likes it. He likes getting ahead.
I don't know why, but there's a song by The Game called Higher from his first album, the documentary. And he says, I'm the motherfucking game, but he says it so fast and the way that he hits the beats, it sounds like, I'm the motherfucking gay man. And for some reason that just popped into my head. I laugh almost every time I hear that song. I'm the motherfucking gay man. An exhibit only gets on his back to fuck bitches and weight benches. He says that. He fucks weight benches. So I would guess that the term MILF existed before this, and they were just capitalizing on some kind of term that was in its infancy in slang. But this is the first time that I ever heard it, and it's the first time that a lot of people that I knew ever heard it. So I should look it up, but I think that American Pie might have coined the term MILF, or at least made it part of the national vernacular.
If Sherman has sex before I do, I'm gonna be.
And this, I think, might be Harold and Kumar's first movie. I guess he's Harold. Yeah, might be Harold's first movie. He's in all of them. But he's just in little side roles like this. And I think he's always got his sidekick buddy there. He's probably got Airwalks on. Look at his outfit. He's got carpenter jeans. So 99.
I'm gonna get laid already.
That's nice. Really, really nice.
Dude, you know your girlfriend's at that party. You aren't even going to scope her out and figure out where she is before you start talking shit about her giving you blowjobs? Now look at where you are. You were at regular blowjobs. Now you're at no blowjobs. You fucked up. Never been to a party where people just sleep in random places throughout the house with no blankets or like they didn't plan on it. This is the beginnings of a relationship. They think that he boned her and he didn't, but you don't just stay up talking all night with somebody that you're not kind of interested in. So if he had just not made up the lie, that chick is fine. He could have a hot girlfriend and be working towards getting laid. But instead, he fucks up and tells them all this bullshit story. The rumor goes around school. She finds out about it. And he gets his dick wet, but it's because he pissed his pants.
I mean, how the hell did you do that? It was just my time. It was just my time.
Oh, my Jehovah's Witness great grandmother gave me a gift once, and the box it might have been the card. It was either the box or the card. Said it's just your time on it, and I thought of the Shermanator when I read it. It was an awesome gift though. It was my first Swiss Army knife. She was weird about giving gifts because she had to make sure and it like. She had to know that you understood that this wasn't for a holiday. She just felt like giving you a gift. And she'll come over to your house on Easter, but it's not for Easter dinner. She's just there to eat dinner, and it happens to be something that you call Easter. It was hilarious. She passed away recently. Rest in peace. Hopefully you were right about the Jehovah's Witness thing.
Dude, it's not like I haven't been trying to get laid. Think about when you work.
For you. Hopefully for me you were wrong. No disrespect, but if you're right about that shit, I'm in trouble.
Exactly what we can do for each other. I mean, we'll be there to keep each other on track. Separately, we are flawed and vulnerable, but together we are the masters of our
Do dudes really make pacts like this? I've seen multiple movies, at least a couple, where it's teenage boys making a pact about getting laid. Like an agreement, like they're all striving towards a common goal. Well, the other one I'm thinking of is the movie The Wood. I should watch The Wood. This is how we do it in North Carolina. But in The Wood, they start like a pot. They each got to put $1 in every week until one of them loses their virginity. And it ends up being the Omar Epps character. But that's very similar to what they're doing here. Except for these guys are trying to make an agreement to all lose theirs the same day. Like, I don't know. Did dudes do this? I didn't never do this. I wasn't,
It's gotta be valid consensual sex. No prostitutes.
I wasn't advertising my game like that. I wasn't telling my friends like, dude, I'm gonna try to fuck her. Dude, did you try to fuck your girlfriend? Oh, that's so badass. Feels so good, right? Like, I didn't have those conversations.
It's like tradition or something. The Rose Bowl. So that gives us exactly 3 weeks to the day. We're gonna do this.
All right.
Just because you... Oh my god, the next step. I guess it's the first time they've done it, so it's not tired. By the American Wedding, they're telling him to shut the fuck up with the next step. Fingertips like memories, I can't forget the curves of your body. And when I feel a bit naughty, I run it up the flagpole to see who's gonna look, but no one ever does. I love this fucking song. I can't remember the name of the band, but it's called Flagpole Sitter. And they have another song that starts off, he says, you make me come, you make me completely miserable. It's a fucking great song. I haven't heard this in so long, I forgot about this song. Fucking A, right, doggy? Durex. Solid choice. I wonder if they paid for that. You would think Trojans, like... Trojans are like Kleenex or Q-tips. They're the condom. Why does Jim have so many? He's planning on jerking off in them?
I like her too.
You love her?
That's actually not bad. Helps with the mess.
You can't really ask me.
You want to get her in the sack. I mean, just tell her you love her. That's how I was too.
Look, Jessica, I don't want to dupe her.
Just stuff your flashlight in the sleeve of a varsity jacket, wear a condom, and fuck it, and you can pretend you got a hand job from the star quarterback.
Oh, hell. Mm.
She's saying that you need to hold up your end of the bargain in this relationship sexually, bro. So far, you've just been getting a bunch of blowjobs, and it doesn't seem like you've been doing any offensive work.
One time,
No.
oh man.
You need to start working the pick and roll, get your screens on point.
Gotta see this.
Dudes, these high school, this is what happens. You turn into a fucking chameleon. You just try to get in wherever you can. It's ridiculous looking back on it. And you would like to go back and tell yourself, like, hey, dude, don't do this. But that's just part of the maturing process. Like, you realize this is the experience for most guys this age. And by the time they get to be my age, they think it was ridiculous. But that's just...
Yeah, man. I think you
I suppose there's a lot of guys in their 30s still going out to clubs and trying to chase chicks.
here. This place is
I'm coming up on being married for 10 years, so
he's going for a chance.
I'm so far disconnected from that life.
That's far so late. Maybe he's preparing for another scene.
The quote-unquote choir chick, her, it's interesting that she's supposed to be bordering on a nerd in this, but then she's the really hot chick that's put up on a pedestal in American Beauty.
Angle here, fellas. You know, it's just like that guy.
She had a 15 minutes of fame. She had this, American Beauty, and Loser. She might have been in a couple other things, and then she kind of fell off the face of the earth. I meant to look up and see what happened to her. 'Cause she's just kind of gone. She wasn't even in American Wedding, I don't think. She was in American Pie 2. Raul, could you please get your balls off me? Oh, Jim, you're here. Yeah, I was telling you to come in, you fuck. Why are you so awkward? Oh, I have a son. He's 5 now, and I'm not looking forward to these days.
You want to just flip to the center section?
This is these.
And they have focused on
This conversation's way more awkward than it needs to be, and I don't think that
infants.
he's
And
informing Jim of anything. I'm pretty sure Jim knows all this stuff.
this is a slur.
Solid move giving him the porn though. Now he knows you have it. Just leave it out on the just leave it on your bookshelf, leave it on the computer desk, leave it on your pillowcase.
Growing
Be like, "Dad, you gave it to me. I figured it was okay to have."
expression on her face.
Look at the expression.
She's kind of looking right.
How fucking uncomfortable.
Hey, big boy.
I don't
What are you doing?
I'm good, Dad. Thank you. Thank you. This is
Shave is a magazine. I'm not
my dick would be crawling inside of my body at this point.
Center.
I'd be sweating through my baggy polo shirt.
You see the detail that they go into in this picture.
I'm glad he went for shaved.
Like a tropical plant or something underwater.
That says nasty toilet girls. What the fuck? I'm definitely not interested in mixing those two things together. The girl can be nasty, but I don't need the toilet. Aw, she's so cute covered in garbage.
I'm sorry.
Rest in peace to Patrice O'Neill.
Well, you know what I'm going to do, Jim? I'm going to just leave these books here.
Yeah, do that. I'll peruse them on my own. But I don't need to think about sexual things while I'm having a conversation with my dad and he's dressed like a Bible salesman.
Safer than a tube sock.
That's one of the classic sound bites that they produced with this franchise. Oh, he's got a condom stuck to his ass. I don't think I've ever remembered that or ever noticed that.
So Finch,
I never remembered that.
you know, I don't think girls are into the whole mini golf thing.
Kevin, I'm sure that they're not. Actually,
Yeah, what a
I need to ask for your cooperation.
eccentric kind of guy he is.
Whatever you hear about me will
He has all these little quirks, and he does this shit, and rolls out a putting green and plays golf during lunch. He goes home to take a shit, and he has it timed. He knows how long it takes. Doesn't your time on the toilet vary depending on the shit? Every one of your shits is uniform? Sometimes I'm on there for 30 seconds. Sometimes it's 15 minutes. Maybe Words with Friends gets opened. Maybe I have some Instagram notifications. Maybe go fuck yourself. Maybe I'll take a shit as long as I want to take a shit. Are you paying me for my time right now? No, you're not. So I will shit. You satisfied? Good, because I'm not. I need to shit. Now get out of here. Finch did come up with a simple but brilliant plan. That's Ben Affleck's little brother, Casey, I think? And he's supposed to be Kevin's older brother, even though he has more of a baby face than he does. Try the tuna hand roll. Fuck, what was I talking about? Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains, and the waving wheat sure smells sweet.
Qualify for what?
You just inherited the body.
Oh, Finch. Finch paid the girl he was talking to, or the girl that's Tara Reid's friend, to start rumors about him throughout the school. And that's his plan for getting the women to come to him. He's going to build up this aura and this mystique where they can't resist. It's a very good plan.
Alright, so now you know.
Until the rumors get a little bit out of hand. This secret Bible of cunnilingus. It's not that complicated. Think about what she would want you to do to her private parts, and you're probably correct. Like, picture you had those parts. Picture what would feel good. Do that. There's not a whole lot going on down there. It's not that complicated. How wrong could you be? Are you trying to take bites? Did you not understand that eating pussy is a misnomer?
No, it was good.
I didn't understand that when I was a kid. When I didn't have any idea how shit really worked down there. And I just heard the term eating pussy. And I was like, with your teeth? There's a lot of misnomers sexually, like blowjob. There's no blowing. It's sucking. I mean, I guess the dude blows his load if she's good at it. But it's more of a suck job. Hand job I get. Blow job? It's a mouth job. If we're going along those same lines. That or a hand job is also a blow job, a pull job. I don't know. Anyway, when I was younger and I was unfamiliar with the inner workings of sexuality, I heard the term eating pussy, and I was like, does it feel good if you like scrape your teeth? I thought dudes were actually using their teeth, and girls, but I also thought that the hole or the opening to the vagina was in the front. It just made sense to me. I was like, you lay on top of each other, facing each other. If the dick kind of sticks straight out and up, the hole would be kind of straight in the front. I didn't take into consideration the physics of that, like where would the dick go if that's where the opening was. But I was naive. I think I figured out the layout of the vagina watching an episode of Real Sex where they were making sex dolls, and it was showing them because it's a doll. They didn't have to do quick edits and kind of glimpse the vagina. They were just right on the vagina. And I was like, okay, so there, in the opening, I kind of grasped the layout. I still remember the first time I saw an asshole in a porno. I was like, that's what they look like? In my head, I was grossed out the first time I saw like an actual porn, because I had to that point only experienced like Playboy magazine, which is pretty softcore, and like Skinamax HBO late night stuff where they don't show insertion, they barely show genitalia or pubic hair. So the first time I saw hardcore porn with like a girl riding a dude, and here's her asshole, there's her vagina, there's his dick going in, it's all frothy. I was turned on, but sick to my stomach at the same time. It didn't, like, in my head I was grossed out, but the sexual functions were still going. Like, it was like a visceral reaction. Like, my body knew that I was supposed to be attracted to this image, but my head was like, this is fucking shocking.
We'll just tell your mother that,
I was probably like 12, 13. Maybe I was 14. I can't remember, honestly. How many pages of writing could there be about eating girls out? It takes like a couple sentences, like, do the alphabet. Like, do the alphabet. Use the broad side of your tongue. Very speed. Incorporate your hands. Like, what do you... That's really all the instruction you need. If you need that much instruction, Jesus Christ, I'd hate to see your fucking. If you're fucking anything like you investigating, you couldn't find the G-spot on a 12-pound pussy.
What are you doing here?
Hey, what are you doing here? The way he talks sounds so affected. Like he's trying to make himself feminine when he talks to her. He's taking all the bass out of his voice. He's trying to be a sweetheart. Talking like this is making me lightheaded.
So, I had this thought, and
Stop with that.
it may seem like it's way out of left field.
It is.
I don't know if you can, but since I'm not going anybody, I thought that
She looks like a younger version of the girl that he pulled the "Suck Me Beautiful" line out on.
well,
Thankfully, he didn't pull his dick out because he might have got into some legal hot water. He just proposed it. But if you wrote "Suck Me Beautiful" down on paper and looked at it, you know, oh, it doesn't come off great. Out loud. Stifler. Fuck. That's the best reaction. You want to do that to people all day long. I want to do that to my dog. Just fuck. Come on. I gave my dog a can of wet food the other day, and she got so into eating it and she started pushing the dish around the floor. You know how dogs do. And she pushed her food dish into her water bowl and spilt a full bowl of water all over the kitchen floor, just trying to lick every last little morsel out of this goddamn food dish. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, I'd try to give you a treat. She doesn't get canned food very often. And this is how you reward me? You make a giant fucking mess? Thanks, homegirl. And she looked at me like, whatever, bitch, I'm gonna go lay down now. I have a pit bull, and she's a sweetheart, but she's clumsy, and she doesn't know her size or strength. She runs into shit all the time. She just steps on stuff. She knocks stuff over. She's not purposely destructive. She doesn't chew on anything she's not supposed to. She doesn't piss on the floor, but she's just a bulldozer, and she's not aware of anything. If it's in the way, she's just gonna, unless she's afraid of it. In the rare scenario, she is afraid of it. This is dumb. Like, her parents are downstairs. I probably would have tried it. I actually know for a fact I would have tried it. I've done things of a similar...
come on down for supper.
Skirts and dresses are great for this sort of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to, like, lock down your daughter the way that my girlfriend's parents were in high school, try to prevent them from wearing the skirts and the dresses and, like, lounge pants with stretchy legs. Anything that allows access to the vagina without having to disrobe, because
I want to talk about masturbation.
that avenue will be pursued.
I want you to know that it's a
Just saying.
normal thing, and I have to admit, you know, I did a fair bit of masturbating when I was.
There was a girl that we used to have sex in her hot tub while it was still light outside with her parents in the house.
He pets the one-eyed snake 5, 6.
But it wasn't like a full on, 15-minute hump session. It would just be like, move over here real quick, pull him to the side, a few pumps, okay, go.
Which can be
A few minutes later, move over here, pull him to the side, couple of pumps, love you. The mind of a teenager is crazy. It was like that song, You're a Magnet and I'm Steel. It was like, if there wasn't anybody around to prevent us from just closing that distance and snapping together, then that's what we were going to do. And it seemed like we were equally motivated by that. It was weird.
You see, Hal is going through a rite of passage, much like you all are. To make the most of the time you've got left together.
What the fuck is he, like, wearing a Cub Scouts shirt?
Does your tongue cramp up?
So he's probably been molested. No, I'm kidding. I don't think Jim was ever molested. He's too normal.
All right, class dismissed.
Still questing after the Holy Grail, huh, guys?
Oh, Nadia.
Hey,
Jim. Except for her fake ass accent. Why couldn't she, I guess because she has to be a foreign exchange student, but why couldn't she just talk different than that? Her accent is so horrible.
do you know who
And they do a great job of making fun of that in Not Another Teen Movie, where the girl's accent changes in every other scene, and she's naked with a clear backpack. That was Spank Bank material back in the day. So was this. The scene where Naughty is walking around in his room undressing and stuff. That's more than enough for a kid who just hit puberty.
Man, I don't know how he's doing.
If you're going to enter
I guess it's
your
Jim.
adolescent boy's son's room,
I'm working on
for your own sake, knock first.
me. Yeah, yes, no.
They don't want you to see that, and you don't want to see that. Just assume that's what they're doing and proceed accordingly. He's got a nice fucking backpack. That thing looks expensive.
Well, I have ballet practice. Perhaps, I could come back.
Jeem, I have ballet practice. Her hair looks fucked up in the next one, and she seems more fake. She's cuter in this one, for sure. Boo boo kitty fuck.
I suppose that would be okay. Sure.
Fucking A right, doggy.
His car.
Uh-oh. You done goofed.
Like it?
Yeah, I like the car. By the way, though, about Mom.
He seems so fake when he's talking to her. It's not a good look. He doesn't talk to her the way that he talks to his friends. Like, it's not the same tone of voice. He doesn't use the same vocabulary. Like, be your fucking self, dude. You know why you can't find anybody? Because you're acting like a different person depending on who you're pursuing. They can't get a read on you. Just be you. Do your thing. Let her see you doing your thing. Combine your things.
There's gonna be Eastern European shit naked in your house. You're not gonna do anything about that? What am I gonna
Get to know her outside the context of a relationship and sex. Just see what each other are about.
You can do that?
And then after a few months, you'll know. Like, you ever start working someplace and there's a chick or a dude and you're like, oh my God, they're hot. Like, your first reaction as soon as you see them is like, holy shit, that's a beautiful person. But after, say, 3 months of working there, their character traits, like, say they're annoying, say they're always late, say they're lazy, those kind of things start to eat away at you. And after that few months, they're not attractive at all to you. That's the process you need to go through to kind of vet people. Shake the tray, see who clicks with you. You don't just be like, she's hot as fuck. we're probably gonna work out. Kind of have to have an idea who somebody is, don't you? Of course, I've come from a fairly privileged life in that aspect.
I know my time is up.
I've never had to try to like go out to a bar and pick somebody up. And my girlfriends were always from work or school. So there was always an opportunity there for us to be around each other and kind of get the lay of the land and the vibe before we ever tried to date or anything. Whereas once you become an adult and you're in your grind, other than work, you don't interact with as broad a spectrum as people as often. So it can become harder. I get that. In the bar scene, no way I want to do that shit. So a lot of the perspective I have on relationships, dating, is skewed very heavily because the adult single life, I have no knowledge of that. I've actually never lived alone, completely alone. I moved out of my parents' house and moved in with my girlfriend, who's now my wife.
You want a beer? There we go.
Oh, but the fucking schedule that I've had for the last 5 years or whatever, it's like 50% of my life is alone. We live together, but I'm out doing the newspapers, up late. I'm working while they're sleeping, then I'm sleeping during the day. We see each other at night for a little while. Weekends, I'm asleep most of the day. We see each other at night until it's time for them to go to bed. So I have a good sense of how I am by myself, what I like to do, all that, independent of her, as does she for me, because we spend a lot of time alone, at least in our current life format. But that's something that I'm hoping to change, because, did I say helping? Hoping to change. Because I'm frankly tired of the weekends bullshit. I'd like to be able to make some plans and do family things on the weekends and take my son places and not have such short time spans available to us when I do. Plus, if I can work it out so that the reselling, etc., pays my bills, then I don't even need to ask anybody to take a vacation. I can just do it. She can get the time off work and we're fucking good. That's the way. I like it. KC and the Sunshine Band. Shit, this is the Nadia scene and I'm not paying attention. Holy shit. The coolest thing I've ever seen. That stream would be so low quality back then. 99. It's the first cam girl. Oh, Jesus. This is the kind of scenario dudes work out in their head. Like when she said she wanted to come over there and she needed to change, if his friends hadn't suggested this, filming her and the link and running back over to the friend's house, in his head he would have come up with a scenario like, oh, I bet while she's changing, she's gonna start fingering herself and I'll walk in and I'll say something sly and then she'll ask me to undress and we'll fuck and it'll be the great, like, those are the kind of ridiculous fantasies that high school dudes come up with in their head. Which is, this movie is definitely comes from the male perspective, because I don't know how many women are doing this in a strange bedroom you've never been in before and you just pick up his porn and start whacking off.
I have an announcement that I would like to make. There is a gorgeous woman
Double clicking the mouse, gigging it.
on my bed. Thank you, Nadia. You know, if you ever had a chance with Nadia, this is it. What am I supposed to do, Kev?
Put your ham bone in the pork steeple.
Go over there and ask her if she needs an extra hand. That's stupid, Kev. That's not stupid.
That is corny. That is pretty corny.
Come on, get over there. Get going, man. She's wrong. Get out of here.
I think, mind if I play through? No, that sounds like you're gonna pass her by. Have you ever considered doubles? No. you familiar with the concept? Not a choice, but a lack of options. Just wiggle your dick around. Not exactly sure what the best line to say to her is at that point. I don't think words are necessary. I think you walk in, you try to keep a calm look on your face, and when she looks up at you, you just do the double eyebrow raise and stare into her eyes lovingly.
Looks like Jim addressed the email wrong.
You'll know based off her reaction what's up. Words aren't necessary there. She's either into it or not, and you aren't going to fix that either way. This is Blink 182. I was never very into them. They were kind of a sound of that generation, but I think they resonate more with kids that are a little bit older than me. To me, it's bubblegum punk. Like, it seems manufactured. Like, it's not hard enough to be hard to me, and it's not slow enough to be, like, it's just in this weird in-between zone that I don't really prescribe to.
Well,
Shame on you.
yeah, shame on me. I'm so.
That's not casting shade if you like them, though. I mean, I have a Slipknot logo tattooed on my shoulder. In high school, Slipknot was my favorite band. I still like them, but I don't listen to it as much as I used to. So I can't really criticize anybody's choices in music.
Slow.
You mean like?
The awkward situations that Jim gets caught in.
No idea.
I'd say fuck it and strip, unless he has a micro penis and he's ashamed. But this is legendary. She's like the hottest chick in school. Who fucking cares if you have to strip? All your buddies are getting to see you get down with this girl. Of course, that is presuming you don't have a premature ejaculation problem and just give a little in your pants twice. The first time I saw this, I didn't even understand that. I was like, wait a minute, that can happen? They didn't even do anything. She didn't even touch him and he just came? I'm not familiar with that either, really. I've heard of it happening, but not to me. Oh no, Jim. Oh boy. Come here, Myrtle. Sorry guys, I gotta dry my dog's feet off real quick. Go ahead. And now I have to take a piss, so you can listen to the movie for a couple minutes.
Take out that chair.
Yep, he took out the chair. Oh yeah, I'm there. I'm naughty, baby. Yeah. Oh, God.
Now, come to me.
Oh yeah.
I'll come to you, come on you, come in you, as long as there's coming involved and you.
This is getting a hell of a lot better.
Gentle.
She's got that great hair too. Her hairdo in the next one's fucked up with the bangs and the curls. Stuck with this simple look. Oh God. Now this just turned into like the most embarrassing moment of your life.
What happened? What
You could have been a stud, and now you're a laughing stock. Yeah, he literally blew it.
So we going now.
No, I'm not done, Nutty.
No studying was done.
I've got reserves.
Give him a refractory period.
I'm begging you.
Well,
Them
you
titties.
like your dirty magazines.
You do? Okay, well, did you see this one? Is your more,
What if his dad walked by his room and heard this music playing?
pulling out the porn?
He's desperate. Jim, just wait till she leaves.
At this age, my parents would have never let me have the door shut with a girl over there. Girlfriend, chick that was way out of my league.
But none of it
Anything.
was arousing as you.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Solid choice of panties too. I would have preferred a thong, but they're simple, they're conservative, but they're sexy. Oh goodness gracious.
Dave, is the expression?
This isn't the unrated one. You get to see more of her, I think.
Holy shit!
Holy shit.
Definitely Jake. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Not again. Not again, man.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Those boxers are going to be glued to his junk. I couldn't go to school. Oh, he doesn't know that he sent the link to everybody. He thinks he just sent it to his friends. Eesh. Oh, that felt good. Bruh. I'm going home. I can't handle this. They're gonna start breaking him off with the damn Daniel. Oh, she sees him in there vulnerable and practicing on his own. How cute. It's endearing. He sucks at singing though, let's be honest.
Hey, man.
I'm not great either, but I know that. I'm not trying to sing in the choir.
Hey, you think you still got a chance with Nadia?
No. Her sponsors here saw the thing on the net. I really don't think she's already on.
Ooh, that's a dick move. He broadcast her without her permission and her sponsor side and made her move back home. She's a foreign exchange student.
I can't talk to girls.
If you really think about the weight of that, she would hate him probably. In the next film, she wouldn't be so friendly with him. He kind of fucked up her life.
We had to play, and it was so much fun. And this one time, we all
She thought she was just
played this song. We didn't know it. So we just made
doing a harmless little double tap innocently in private. And he broadcast it to everyone at the school
You know what I do?
and got her fucked up. Bitch, you got me fucked up.
It's I learned to do that.
Is this detention? No, they're there before class.
You have no idea why I'm angry.
It's because we have a test tomorrow. Sometimes I get cranky when I know I have a big test to study for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I thought so, because this one time...
Throughout life, you see so many examples of people not making a choice, but rather having a lack of options.
Do you want to be my date for the prom?
They become a couple right here,
You seriously want to go with me?
basically by elimination. He doesn't think that there's anybody else that'll go with him.
Yes.
And she pretends to not have seen the video online.
Because that
Really, she's horny and wants to get laid. She knows he's desperate, so it's going to work out for her. And she's playing him like a fiddle. But
It'll be like this one time at band camp when we all had
this is not who he would choose if he had the pick of the litter to go to the prom with. He doesn't have options. I got that phrase from Armageddon. Bruce Willis tells Liv Tyler that Ben Affleck isn't a choice, he's a lack of options. And that resonated with me and stuck in there. And I see it play out in life and in film and in TV over and over and over again. It really happens that way.
you work nights.
My dad's the manager.
Really?
Some people get paralyzed by too many choices, though. Like actual freedom, like you're responsible for your entire day, you got to figure everything
You're
out.
going to Michigan next year?
That intimidates some people.
My parents want me to go to Northwestern, but I don't want to write all those extra essays they make you do.
They'd rather just, you tell me what to do, I'll do it, as long as I'm
Emotionally significant
fulfilling
was,
the role that somebody else has defined for me, then
all of it.
I'm satisfied with my job. Work here is done.
Oh, no, thank you.
You can't just do this.
Adrian.
You just, oh, I was getting ready to close up. Everything's cleaned and put away. Now I'm going to make you a sandwich and get everything dirty again.
I mean, business is okay, and lacrosse is awesome, but when am I going to be a professional lacrosse player?
I really have no
When are you going to start talking to her the way you normally talk?
But I was the only one.
When are you going to stop with this soft-spoken, little
So are
emasculated thing you're doing? You want her to be attracted to this fake version of you? Talk to her. God damn.
East Lansing in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, but
Look at that painting. What is that?
looking out for someone else.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I know it's a long shot, but I figured Paul Finch might ask me.
Finch's rumors have gotten out of hand. They've made the rounds.
I forgot. You look okay. I mean, the scars healed.
It basically went viral. He didn't realize how big it was going to become. He just needed a date. Now the whole school is talking about him.
Because Finch kicked his ass.
Who told you that? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Did you two hook up or something?
that you can't start that rumor. That's not realistic. And if Stifler finds out about it, he's going to probably beat Finch's ass. Like,
A reputation of his isn't going
that is not look at that little pizza.
Finch comes up to me and says,
It's not based in reality at all.
blah, blah, etc., right?
It's got to be a plausible thing that can't be debunked so easily.
Little girls that you're dynamite in bed. So he did, and I did.
That actually works?
Duh, of course. I mean, naturally, I embellished.
Wouldn't it work? It's coming.
That Finch had an affair with an
It's an
old woman.
unsuspecting or
That one-
unsuspected messenger. The girls aren't expecting bullshit machismo stories to come from another girl. Oh God.
If you try to MSU this Saturday, I'll kick your ass. Our last game is this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Do you have lipstick on?
I've got this lacrosse
Had
game.
pink-ass
It's really
lips.
important. It's our last game. Well, Central almost beat us last time, so this time I really want to kick their ass. But it's gonna be cool because, you know, the game's at States, which means afterwards I'll be able to stop by.
So you can't sing at competition.
Heather,
He's trying to weigh the importance of his commitments.
See what makes you happy.
He probably should have taken this into consideration before he committed
Listen,
to
thanks for
the
understanding.
choir gig, though. I dig your hair.
So, I guess I'll see you later.
I think she looks better with that hair color than the blonde look in American Beauty. American Beauty is like a perfect movie, but I never quite bought her as the super hot chick. But then again, they play off that because she's insecure about it. It's not undeniable. And her friend even tells her, or no, it's Ricky Spitz tells her she's completely ordinary, not special at all at the end of the movie.
He's got a problem shooting.
So I guess they did that on purpose.
Slipped a little something in his mochaccino.
And also, if you're Lester Burnham, a middle-aged dude, that's far and above anything that you're going to be able to get. When you're in high school, most everybody is attractive to their peers. It's just there's so many of them that a lot get lost in the shuffle. When you look back, like, everybody's in good shape. Well, most everybody. More people than once they reach adulthood. Skin's nice and tight. Hair's shiny. You know what I mean? Everything's where it's supposed to be. And you just take that for granted. You're like, oh, she's got a freckle on her nose. No dice.
It's gonna be fun.
No, it's just gonna be some crappy band and stupid decorations. Okay, you're just saying that because prom's a week away and you don't have a date.
Oh, he went into the women's bathroom. That's right.
Finch is going stag and so am I.
Stifler is supposed to be like the generic musclehead, but this is a brilliant plan when you really think about it. This is one event that is going to wipe out Finch's entire reputation. One move, one thing he does. There's a few little steps along the way. He has to put the X-Lax in his coffee. He has to be at the bathroom to open the women's door so that he accidentally goes into the wrong one. And then he just has to let the scene play out. But Finch is done after this. Put a fork in him. That was like battle shits. Battle shits is kind of flipping this scene on its head but copying it in a way. Where Harold and Kumar are listening to the twins.
Kat, I think we've come a really long way since home.
Then once you're married for a certain amount of time, your wife just tells you she's going to take a shit. She doesn't phrase it so coarse or crass, but
You want to do it?
Yeah.
it's no secret.
It's your turn.
That's not what I was thinking.
Sex.
Dude,
It's always about sex.
Hey, it's not always
he's
about
such a little
sex.
bitch, and he's selfish, and he's
I just thought it was
not
sex.
aware of how he's coming off, and he's not aware of how she's feeling in the least.
Look, Vicky, love is a term that gets thrown around.
He's 30 years old.
People don't mean it.
He has his watch on upside down.
More than words. You know,
The face is on the underside of his wrist.
Exactly.
Or no, maybe it's not. Maybe it just has an exaggerated
You
buckle.
ready?
No problemo.
Some gaudy silver thing.
I close my eyes at night. Come on, Heather, work with me.
That guy sings way better than Oz. Way better. I don't think that you should have the... You can't have the ability for the fans or the audience to compare them in that way, because it becomes implausible that Ostriker was supposed to have the performance over that guy. That guy knows how to sing. Oh, maybe not. The last scene, he sounded way better than this guy ever does. Laid out for the count. You got knocked the fuck out. Lacrosse is an odd choice. I guess it's because of where it takes place in Michigan. I never knew anybody that played lacrosse. It's not that popular. It definitely wasn't in 1999. Like, I think it's more of an East Coast thing. I've literally never seen anybody playing lacrosse in person. Not even by accident. You drive by and see high school football games and soccer games and baseball games and things of the sort all the fucking time. I've never accidentally seen a lacrosse game. That's how uncommon it is here. My friend's son played it for like half a season. Pissed him off because they spent all this money on brand new gear and then he didn't like it.
You guys want to look back on your days at East and know that you used the time you had?
Okay, dude. This is a really cheeseball scene because
Good luck, fellas.
you're supposedly a good lacrosse player. You have a future in that. You're a dog shit singer. So you're gonna bail out on the thing that you have potential in to go to this shitty fucking choir, I don't even know what you call it, meet performance? So we can get the girl, it's true love. If you're meant to be together and you love each other, you could have gotten over this little hurdle where you missed a performance because you had another obligation. Especially if you're that good. She should have an understanding of how good you are and that is where you should be focusing your energy. You are not even mediocre as a singer. American Idol would kick the shit out of you. Simon would have had a heyday.
Does this mean I'm not gonna get to do the duet?
Would you suck?
What a dickhead thing to say. Right before they're supposed to do a performance. MILF guy is in the choir.
Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, seems I've been there before.
I guess he's not horrible. He's mediocre. Is good. A good rating to give him. In so many ways. I just want to stop and thank you, baby. Plus, he's making his voice really high when he sings. All of a sudden, his hair's not gelled. He's living on the edge. Did he have cleats on?
It's like, I know he really cares about it, you know? Even if he can't say it, he does. And yeah, he always talks about sex, but it's okay because he's
I can't listen to this verbal diarrhea. I'm trying to do stuff. Do you have a point?
Translation right? Go home, bird teacher, I've had enough.
I don't know.
Go home, bird teacher.
So, you know, sex. Does it hurt?
Guess we get a little glimpse of the female point of view here.
It hurts, but then you do it again and again. It just starts to feel good.
How many times have you had sex?
Okay, so, say I don't do it. And
I
then
forget, are they
I
seniors?
might end up doing it with some random guy who totally turns out to be a jerk.
It's true.
And I wish I would have done it with Kevin.
So go do it with Kevin.
You think?
Yeah, you're ready. You're a woman. Look at you. You're ready for sex.
You're right.
I know.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
but
it. Now. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be
Kevin
Perfect sex.
is kind of a shitty boyfriend. Every angle is about the sex. He doesn't really care about you that much. Now? It's one of the best reactions in the movie. Now? In movies like this, the kids never have any fucking supervision on their prom night. That is not what my prom experience was like at all. Parents know what the fuck is going on. Parents know that you think that everybody's going to try to get laid and lit up and fucking shit-faced drunk on prom night. They were kids once too, and it's the cliche idea. But in these movies, they still have parents just send their kids off to get drunk and fuck, go to parties at cabins and shit.
You must be excited about the big night tonight.
The only prom I went to,
Who's the lucky girl?
I can't remember if it was my senior prom or my junior prom, but I brought a girl that didn't go to my school.
Must be very special.
I talked about her in the previous podcast. She had
Well, I'm sure
strict fundamentalist Christian parents, and they brought us to the prom. The prom was heavily chaperoned, well lit, no little areas to sneak off into. Nobody spiked the punch. Nobody was going outside and smoking a joint. None of that. And when it was over, we were promptly picked up by her parents and brought back to her house.
Okay, Dad.
I actually
I promise.
had my friend buy a six-pack, and I went over to his house afterwards and had a couple drinks and played video games. That was my prom night. This idea that everybody's just fucking free range and they're just going for it and fucking like rabbits on prom night. The parents are just ignorant to it all. Teen pregnancy's nothing to fuck with. How long is this movie? Shit. We're at 1 hour and 11 minutes and 11 seconds. 24 minutes left. Seems like I've already been watching it for like 1 hour and a half. Also, movies always have a band. Is that because the scene is so long you'd have to pay for so many song licenses that it's cheaper to have this bullshit band? Because no school dance I ever went to had a live band. It was always a DJ. Prom, winter formal, homecoming, whatever the fuck. I've even gone to other schools' dances and same deal. They would just play current music via DJ. And then they always play that fucking slide to the left, Slide to the right. 1 hop this time. 2 hops this time.
Can't really use that as an excuse.
In high school, they would still play that fucking song, and people would get all rowdy about it. They'd get hyphy on it. I'm like, shit is corny as a motherfucker.
Me? I mean, I think you guys should be a little bit more enthusiastic.
That's like elementary school
Been waiting for.
birthday party at the skating rink status,
Late, are you afraid?
where somebody blows an ACL out because they're trying to dance on roller skates.
We made a pact. You can't break that. You guys are just gonna have to. Have to what, Kev? Huh? I don't have to do shit.
Jim's got a sweet vintage tux.
I'm so sick and tired of all this bullshit pressure. I mean, I've never even had sex, and already I can't stand it. I hate sex. And I'm not gonna stand around here busting my balls over something that, quite frankly, isn't that damn important. Now I'm gonna go hang out with that geek over there. 'Cause at least she has
Everybody, when they're younger, looks at the age that they lose their virginity with, at like, or age that they lose their virginity at. They look at it like a badge of honor,
Hey, Finch,
and
wanna dance?
none of that really matters later on in life, except for the awkward conversations when you're dating somebody and they want to know when you lost it and who to, and
My option.
when the answer is like 12, that can be a little bit.
Consolation prize.
But that's something that you wouldn't be flaunting in high school, most likely.
Jessica, this is great.
Felt sort of guilty about taking your money.
You spent $200 on this?
No, I spent 50 on the flask, 150 on the earrings.
She earned her money. If not for Stifler, he would be. All the girls would be crawling all over him right now.
Oh yeah, of course not.
And this will be forgotten soon enough.
Sugar to pay for this, huh? You met at that party a while back, right?
Oh, jig is up.
We were all night together.
You about to
We
get
had one of those
fucked.
amazingly deep conversations where you feel like you really get to know someone.
Is that what you guys call it?
Deep conversation, huh? Is that what you call it?
What else would I call it?
That was like a dude talking to a girl. Seems like Tara Reid would have been aware that a deep conversation means deep conversation. And that's something that she would be interested in. Not a euphemism for sex. Oh, this doesn't happen either. They don't just. Random high school girl wants to speak on the microphone. We're gonna let her.
I thought you all should know this. Chuck Sherman is a liar.
Ooh.
He's never had sex
About to get your dick wet, homie.
This because he told me. Once he tried to screw grapefruit, but that's all.
Want me to use dictate in a sentence?
Nervous. He sometimes wets his pants.
Hey Sherman, how's my dictate? That's something that people will not forget. The dude who got busted out and pissed his pants on prom,
Not interested.
legendary.
Come on, man. The Buster Stifler's gonna be here soon.
He probably had to move to Canada after this.
Not going.
He just got in a boat and went across the Great Lakes. All of them, even though he only needed to go across one.
Really turn out how I want.
He lake jumped.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm acting like a.
It's like a form of skydiving, but not similar at all.
I know that Vicky's gonna ask me if I love her, and I don't know what I'm gonna say.
That means you don't love her.
I'm just about to do it. I should be psyched. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am just scared.
His whole side of the relationship seems based around whether he can fuck her or not. Like,
We are finally.
he doesn't actually seem interested in her at all.
We have been waiting for this for 4 years. Why else have we been friends?
And he doesn't even seem to, like, talk her up like she's beautiful or she's hot or he's attracted to her, or he doesn't say she's got a nice ass. Like, he doesn't compliment her.
He didn't?
No, I pissed himself.
What?
We'll tell you on the bus. I'm gonna go inside and grab my bag.
I was never into the pressuring thing.
Two, perhaps?
The,
Mom got it with divorce.
well,
Reminds me of this one.
the girl I lost my virginity to,
Can I ask you a question?
it was pretty apparent to me
I've got lots of them.
when we started dating that she was the kind of girl that was probably going to happen with. And subconsciously, that may be part of the reason why I was attracted to her.
Like guys
I don't know. I can't explain what I'm thinking when I'm not, when it's something I'm not thinking. You get my drift. But then my relationship after that, she was a virgin and I wasn't. And I was well aware that if it was ever going to happen, it was up to her. So I didn't push at all. I didn't suggest nothing. I waited for it to be her idea. I knew that it just wasn't a good idea to add that pressure into it and that constant tension. Just hang out, just be comfortable with each other. I guess in the next one he misses her, so he might have loved her. But that could also just be the fact that he doesn't want anybody else to be with her if he can't be.
See, I'm a virgin. And,
Haas is still doing the soft-spoken bullshit. And now he's gonna go with the vulnerable, put all your cards on the table, honesty is the best road, good guy approach, and he's gonna let her in on the pact.
This isn't the best way to proposition me.
no, that's
And it doesn't seem like he's running game,
what I mean is,
but he's got this fake voice. And he's always talked to her in this fake voice.
Coach, he was
And if you were to say, if you were to concoct a phrase that would be,
Better, Chris.
no, see, Heather, what I realized is that
I guess it's not a well concocted phrase, but
it's not like
it seems like if you wanted to
score.
passively try to get in her pants, this would be the way you go about it. You emasculate yourself, you talk real soft, you make yourself vulnerable, you start putting all this shit on the table, you make yourself look like an idiot, and then you say, but I don't even care about that. I just like you. And that's going to
Yeah. Let your friends call
stir emotions in her
I feel like I'm not
that
friends now.
maybe make her happy in pants.
Your girlfriend?
It's either a very clumsy, very dipshit way to go about it, or it is the uber mastermind way to go about it. He either went with like a bury the lead technique, or he's just stumbled into that one. Either way, it works out for him. Now Finch is about to meet his maker. Well, no, about to meet Stifler's maker. I don't find her attractive at all. Her, no offense. It's great that other people do. I'm under no obligation to find you attractive. There's definitely, if you say that you find everybody attractive, you're lying. So I just don't. I think we could have done better for a MILF status.
Are you enjoying yourself?
She kind of fucks Finch up though, because she becomes the one who got away, and it's like a relationship between them was never really going to be that realistic. She kind of robs him of something here. His virginity, one, but he becomes he starts pursuing all these weird sexual avenues and doing risk-taking things like sex in the library and shit like that. And deep down, it's because he misses her. And he wants to reconnect with her. He thinks that there's something there. He really builds her up as this unattainable thing that can't be matched by any girl his own age. And that's going to hinder him in his development. But for means of a comedy movie like this, it's great fodder. Yeah, make sure there's no jism in your beer.
And then he just puked his brains out.
That is a nasty story. Do you want to hear a nasty story of mine?
Soundbite coming up.
Sexual.
Oh, I'm laughing thinking about it.
Okay, well,
This is like the classic line.
yeah, we were playing this
Oh, it's
game.
not.
I don't know if you know it, but it's called Spin the Bottle. And I introduced this guy named Mark Wander on the lips. And he played
After this movie came out, every time somebody said this one time, the person they were talking to would say, at band camp. It was just in our vocabulary immediately. And that lasted for like 4 or 5 years. Some people probably still say that. I think what it did effectively was it stopped people from saying this one time.
I want to hear you say it.
I know that I stopped prefacing phrases with this one time because I knew that at band camp was coming next, and it would just derail whatever was going to be said.
I love you.
So instead you say there was a time. There was a time. See that woman down there? Did you consider her beautiful? No. Yeah, but there was a time. That's from Lucky Number 11. I love that fucking movie. That'd be a good one to do too. That one is it's a good twist and turn movie. It's a good action movie, and it's got some great comedy moments in it. Lucky Number 11 is fucking the bomb diggity. I don't live here. You look like you live here. No, you look like the guy who lives here. Then you don't know what the guy who lives here looks like. He means to say you look like you live here. I guess nobody ever told you not to use the word you're defining in the definition. Oh, Striker's getting lucky. He didn't see that coming at all with that bullshit speech he gave.
Story is you had to kiss the guy for 20 seconds.
Yes!
Oh my god, it's so gross.
And everyone laughed at me, but I didn't care because it was so fun.
Now I think she's gonna up the ante.
Oh, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy.
Excuse me?
What?
They were pushing an envelope with this at the time.
That's what half a band camp is.
You didn't hear stuff like that,
Are we gonna screw soon? Because I'm getting kind of antsy.
at least in this setting. Very unexpected from her. It was a double take knee slap moment for sure. You guys are gonna fuck, aren't you? Fuckers, fuckers.
I have 2 rubbers. One of them both. It'll desensitize
Ugh.
you. I don't want you
That
to so damn early this time.
my dick feels numb just thinking about wearing 2 rubbers.
Why do you think I accepted this date?
I don't have good success with rubbers. They always break. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Then again, I haven't had the necessity for one in quite a while.
This is very obviously a Piero della Francesca. So,
Are we gonna do this?
would you object if I said that you were quite straight?
No, that's not what. You trying to seduce me? It's like a miniature graduate situation, I suppose. Of course, there's the Mrs. Robinson song, yeah. Why did I never make that connection before? The Mrs. Robinson thing. What the fuck? Sometimes I notice things in these movies while doing a podcast that I've never noticed before, even though I've seen them a ton of times. Partly because I never really cared that that scene was in there. I didn't find it particularly funny. Didn't scratch an itch. Of course, this has to be the culmination, though, where we see that everybody... Of course, it all works out. The hero wins in the end. They all find a place to bone on prom night. Nobody has a curfew. Nobody's parents come a-calling.
I had no idea you'd be this good.
Neither did I. Oh, stupid mom.
Oh, dude. You can't fuck up the little kid's bedroom.
Okay, let's go.
What's my name?
The little brother shouldn't be there with all this, like, sexual shit going on and the drinking and the partying. It's too much too soon. Again, with people just sleeping randomly throughout the house. I'd rather walk home than sleep in that fucking dining chair. The ballin' ass house, though. Where did Stifler's mom get all this money?
That was a great night, huh?
Yeah, it was decent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now she's gonna break up with you.
seen your brother.
Because girls do weird stuff like that.
Went by so fast.
She probably knew before she decided to fuck him.
Kevin.
My mind would be out of it. If I knew that I was gonna break up with you, it'd be hard for me to have that special moment with you. And like, I've heard people like deciding they're gonna break up and then fucking one more time anyway.
Don't say that.
I don't know if I could get in the game doing that.
We can make it work. It'll be perfect.
I wouldn't believe that they wanted it.
But
See, that's
Wouldn't
what-
believe that I wanted it, maybe. I don't know.
Nothing's perfect. And you can't plan everything.
well, I guess we'll be pretty far away. And we'll be on our own, meeting new people. Last night, though.
He's too calm about this. If they'd legit been going out for a couple years, they're in high school, they just took each other's virginity, and she's essentially breaking up with him, and he's just calmly responding eloquently. He's not just staring blankly down at the comforter, jaw dropped, speechless. He's not crying. He doesn't seem to care at all.
Oh my God, she used me. I was used.
Kid that age isn't going to be able to wrap his head around that and make that much sense of it and proceed with that much maturity. I don't think. Mom?
Mom?
Boom. The fact that Stifler finds him is probably the best part. I wonder if they added that later.
Women
Nobody's hungover.
get better with age.
Everybody's just fine.
For comparison, by that.
Very little vomiting.
So you almost made
Very
it.
little regret. Very little Tylenol.
Had a great night together. You had
Very little realism.
You'll get there.
But it's still fun. And it's got its hilarious moments that you'll remember forever. Like one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy.
No, that's great, man. That's awesome. Hey, you know what the coolest thing is, guys? It's this. You know, right now.
To get me through this, semi-charmed kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else.
To the next step. To the next step.
Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. I can get down with this song. Just brings me back. I'm just there. In the 90s right now. No responsibility. Just video games in school. Soccer. Didn't have enough knowledge of how shit worked to be nervous about it. Just taking every day as it comes. Just chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain starts clicking. Trying hard not to smile when I feel bad. 1 week since you looked at me. Turned your fabulous eyes and said I'm angry. So that is the original American Pie movie from 1999. I realized that in some of my previous commentaries, I was getting in the habit of just kind of narrating what was going on. And I'm trying to get away from that. So hopefully I accomplished that at least in part this time. And it was more digestible as a standalone audio product, not so married to what's going on. I'm trying to get better at my economy of words, my delivery, spectrum of vocabulary, all that. I definitely can tell that it's coming more naturally to me now. Being able to think ahead, string together my thoughts, organize them, express them. And I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. So, I don't know that I even want to give American Pie a rating. It fits in its perfect place. Damn, the music. The music, the nostalgia, the outfits they're wearing. That was life at that point in time. And it tells a tale that we've seen told 1,000 times, but it does it it ups the ante, pushes an envelope, and it's kind of I don't want to say raunchy or vulgar because those have negative connotations, but it's pushing the limits of what's acceptable. I distinctly remember this having a certain shock value to it, and I think that's why it made the rounds. It was the word of mouth about it was crazy. People were talking about it at school. I can remember people talking about it. So I think that it's probably about a 7.5, I'd say. It's at least a 7. 7.5 sounds right to me. I appreciate everybody sticking through and listening to this podcast. Please check me out on YouTube or SoundCloud, because whichever one you're listening to, there's the other one over there. I do review videos up on YouTube, exclusive to YouTube. The commentary podcasts get put on SoundCloud and on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram at Avarice Trading. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy, beezy.